through. So here's the grid. Kai Burke and Austin Gale with Yuka Po and Dylan Tan alongside each other on the second row. Behind them, it is Anaton Tanganachai along with Panu Steenmankong. Kian Shah is alongside Danish Chen, the Singaporean. And rounding out the top 10 of Superheat A, it's Yanhadatan Mosh and Seshan Gunasekara. Then it's Leonardo Mori alongside Ayan Marwa. Outside them, we've got Melvin Shane beside Didi Tse. And then Jerry Ji finds himself beside Kantapat Naran Suksanti. The final four, it's going to be Vakinja Nanukul, Jenny Bibanet, Waravon Kamanakul, and Sun Yang. So for Kai Burke versus Austin Gale, this is trouble in paradise for Michael Patrizi and the Birolart course team, because this is a fabulous chance for them to showcase their pace, but we're going to get a fabulous situation. We've got Kai Burke, the dominant force of yesterday, 3 wins out of 3, alongside the returning Austin Gale. Austin is not in the title fight. Kai Burke absolutely is. And they're in the same team, and they're going to want to race each other. Austin Gale is only here for a one-off, so he wants to show to himself more than anybody else, I think, that he's still got the pace to be a race winner, even after a few months out of the kart. So this could be a fascinating Senior X30 final. Imagine if Austin Gale wins. It could change the face of the championship this year, because if he feels confident enough that he can be strong, he may decide, do you know what? I'm changing my plans. We're going for plan B, and I'll be there in Macau. So it's going to be a fascinating pair of Senior X30 Superheats here. Superheat A could be an absolute rout by Birolart Asia based on what we saw yesterday, but it's not decided yet. If I know Yuka Po and Dylan Tan, the 2 Kart Republic drivers, are definitely going to want to put on a bit of a show to charge after the 2 men up front. They'll certainly be wanting a lot of spice from this race, and they certainly could get it the way that things have currently been playing out over the weekend. There you see Leonardo Mori, who lines up alongside Ayan Marwa on the starting grid. That's one side of the dummy grid. The other side of the dummy grid, we'll see the drivers at the front end. And as always, the last man to get into his kart is always Yuka Po, the reigning champion. He takes his time. He never sits in the seat for longer than he has to. He takes his time about it, and he's never in the kart much more than a minute until the green flag. So everybody else geared up and ready to go. There is the 1-minute board, and that is the cue for Yuka Po to get behind the wheel of his kart. He takes his time, and he is the last man to do so. And he is a big threat in this superheat from 3rd on the grid. So within a few seconds, they will head out onto the circuit, just as Yuka Po is still getting himself settled and ready. And the green flag will fly. They set out onto the course for their warm-up lap, and then after that comes the formation lap. 2 laps around the course before we go to green flag conditions. And of course, this is the last chance for the drivers to get their setups and their tyre pressures right going into the final. They'll all get a fresh set of boots for the final, of course, because they'll get a new set of tyres heading into that gargantuan 20-lap encounter. But it's going to be very tough for everybody. They know exactly how difficult things will get. And certainly for us, it's going to be very entertaining indeed. Green flag, and so the drivers venture out. A brilliant battle is in the offing here as Kai Burke goes to battle up front from Austin Gale, Yuka Po and Dylan Tan, and Anton Tananachai and Panu Steenmankong. Kian Shah and Danish Chen, Yohanathan Moshe and Seshan Gunasekara. Then Leonardo Mori, Ayan Marwa, Melvin Shane, Didi Tse, Jerry Ji, Kantapat Naran Suksanti, Vakinja Nanakul, Jenny Bibanet, Warawon Kamanakul, Sun Yang, and that is all she wrote for the moment. Still plenty of drivers to battle away going into the next port of call, because we'll get the Superheat B coming up shortly as well. I'm very keen to see how this one plays out, though, because we've got a waft of drivers in the second Superheat. There we'll have Toby Gale, Nathan Ardia, and all sorts of exciting battles to come. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all works out. And of course that race will also see Andrea Galimberti in the mix, don't forget. So there's still plenty to come. The drivers gear themselves up, ready for another bite at the cherry. After these 16 laps, we'll have a better understanding as to who's going to have the legs and who's going to have the pace going into the final this afternoon. The race everybody wants to see. Great to have all your patronage on the YouTube stream and on the Facebook broadcast as well. Do drop us a message. Let us know who you're cheering for and where you're watching from. Always great to have your company. You've timed it right if you've only just joined us, because we've got the super heats coming up for the X30 senior categories. This will be fascinating. And the front end of the field, Kai Burke, the man who was strong last year, certainly is stronger in 2026. This could be the Bundaberg Boy Wonders year. So Austin Gale will line up on the front row of the grid alongside him. The first time that Austin Gale's been on the front row of the grid in 2026. The cyclist has returned to karting once again, and he's lost none of his speed and definitely lost none of his desire. So the 20 drivers work their way back into the competition again as the contenders are ready for a big charge forward. All the drivers ready for a showcase. Out of the final turn, we'll see how everybody works their way forward. It's going to be a charge to the front of the deck, and off we go. Great start from Austin Gale, but Kai Burke has got to the front. Kai Burke is going to have to wrestle with Gale through the first turn. Oh, and up in the air. Couple of karts going out sideways. 5 karts, 6 karts involved, 7, 8 karts involved in total. My goodness, absolute disaster. And on the sidelines, that's Kian Shah, Danish Chen, the 206 of Anton Tanganachai. Big names involved in this one. Several karts all in a wash. We're going to see it again as they tangle through, and it started right in the middle. Tanganachai, along with Shah and Chen, they all came together. There was also a problem for Wadawon Komonakul and Didi Tsur, and I think that's the 211 involved in that one as well. That is Fakinja Nanakul. So all sorts of problems. There is a couple of karts being wheeled away. That is the Tony kart, I'm afraid, of Anton Tanganachai. He's not going anywhere. And a very unhappy Anton Tanganachai walking away. Yellow flags at turn 1, but not full course yellow. So the competition still going to be a tough one as Kai Burke swings it out through the first corner and leads the way from Yukapo, Austin Gale, Travis Teo, Johanathan Mosh, and then Ayan Marwa, Banu Steenmakong, and Melvin Shane. The chaos of turn 1 has absolutely upset the apple cart in this one as Austin Gale sweeps past Yukapo. Attention paddock, driver number 56. Driver number 56 to the stewards, please. Driver number 56. So let's try and unravel the situation as it currently stands, because we've got all sorts of chaos now as a result of that first lap incident. Kai Burke leads, Austin Gale second, Yukapo is third in front of Teo, Mosh, and then it is Ayan Marwa from Steenmakong, Shane, Ji, and Andrea Galimberti trying to work his way back up through the pack. In fact, Galimberti's got ahead of his rival Jerry Ji there. So up into 9th place. Still sliding the back end of the top 1 kart Republic as he tries to make his way past Melvin Shane. So Galimberti's trying to pick him off one by one. Dives up the inside, gets the move. As we watch the top 3, Burke, Gale, and Yukapo in front of Teo, Mosh, Marwa, Galimberti, Steenmakong, Shane, and Ji. Then it's Nalan Suksanti from Jenny Bibinet up in 12th position, Sun Yang and Leonardo Mori. Then Jananakul, Sir, Komonakul, Danish Chen, and Kian Shah recovering after their incident. And then, of course, Tanganachai retiring on the spot. So Burke leads Gale and Yu, but there's a fantastic battle behind them as Galimberti's got to the front of this queue. Goodness me. Galimberti very quick to put himself back into a decent position. Stayed out of the badinage on lap 1 and now finds himself in P6. So Galimberti, top 6 pace, trying to work his way back through the pack. Burke and Gale a second apart at the moment, but we saw how closely matched they were yesterday as Jerry G gets his run on Melvin Shane. Gets through, but Shane's got a chance on the exit. But Jerry G will have the inside line on the approach to the Mickey Mouse section. Will he run out too wide onto the pickup? Almost a replica of the battle that we saw between Tudu Kumaran and Ian Willick in the Masters. But Kai Burke building on this 1 second advantage on Austin Gale. It's actually slightly more than that now by the look of it. Yukapo in third from Teo and Johanathan Mosh. Then Galimberti, Steenmakong, Shane, Ji, Marwa, Nanasuksanti, Bimanet, Sun, Mori, Jananukul, and Komorakul. And there's a technical flag going out. A technical flag is going out onto the course. Please don't tell me it's Andrea Galimberti a third time in 2 weeks. That really would be a disaster. We're going to see who it is. It's the 208, I believe. So the 208, that's Ayaan Marwa. So Ayaan Marwa is getting the technical flag here. Very unfortunate indeed for the man in 10th position. I want to try and figure out why Ayaan Marwa has been given the technical flag. We might be able to see it from where we are. But certainly Ayaan Marwa is in some difficulty. I wonder if he's ended up taking some damage to the front fairing or the bumper as a result of getting involved in that incident in the first corner. Because let's be honest, quite a few people were involved in that incident at the first corner. So I'm going to try and count back and see what the issue is for Ayaan Marwa. He's looking around at his kart himself. And it is the 208, sadly. Ayaan Marwa who's getting the technical flag. I'm going to watch him as he comes past my position. It doesn't look particularly obvious to me, but we'll have a look at it and see if there's anything as he goes by. I wonder if it's the chain guard. Could well have come off the kart in that incident, but whatever it is, it doesn't matter now. As Galimberti closes in and dives for Jonathan Mosh. Mosh is not going to make it easy for him. Oh, Galimberti rolls his sleeves up and works his way to P5. Not that Jonathan Mosh will be happy about it. And that leaves Mosh vulnerable to attack from Paru Steenmankong and Jerry Chi. So that could be interesting as well. And now Galimberti is going after the former Senior X30 champion, Travis Teo. So yet again, the youngest man in the field going after our former Schumacher, as it were, Travis Teo. As Andrea Galimberti really sizes up the chance to move up into the top 5. Fascinatingly, Berg is now 1.6 clear of Gale, who is in turn a second clear of Yukapo. It's a very tame race indeed up front. Galimberti seems to be the only one in the top 5 currently up for a fight. Here comes Galimberti, trying to take on Travis Teo. That's a gap, I'll take it. And he's through. Nicely done from Galimberti. Also through goes Steenmankong. He gets the move on Jonathan Mosh. So Steenmankong up into P6. At the same time, Galimberti makes the bid for P4. So sadly, Ayaan Marwa has pulled off into the pits after receiving the technical flag. He's retired. So it is game over for Ayaan Marwa. But out in front, it is such a quiet race for Kai Berg in front of Austin Gale, who's just bringing it home for second. Yukapo is in third, and the top 3 are just running a processional race by the look of it, with 10 laps to go, and Andrea Galimberti having a tough ride of it, but perhaps with slightly better tyres than the others around him, because don't forget, he pulled out of the race early in the second one due to that technical flag, so his tyres will be in better condition than Burke, Gale and Hughes. Up on the inside, that's a lovely switch up from Sun Yang. The Chinese driver Sun gets his move through and takes up the move on Melvin Shane. He makes the overtake. 11th place is Kanapat Netsuksanti in front of Jenny Bibanet. Leonardo Mori, who's having a nightmare weekend so far here in Beira. Don't forget, he was fighting for podiums at LYL. Big dive up on the inside. Jonathan Mosh is nudged aside by the 207 Melvin Shane. By the 207 Sun Yang, I should say. So it's Melvin Shane who gets nudged wide, and he's not happy at all about it as Jonathan Mosh comes through. So Jonathan Mosh and Melvin Shane licking their wounds as Sun Yang fights his way to P8. Tough racing all around in Senior X30. They all know that this unique opportunity delivered by the Turn 1 pilot has bought several drivers a chance to do something. So out in front, Kai Berg leads by over 2 seconds to Austin Gale, who is almost 2 seconds clear of Yukapo, who is about 1.5 seconds clear of Galimberti. Here comes Jerici on the inside. Stunning move on Banu Steenmankong. That puts him into P6. Now there's just himself and Travis Teo to close up on the top 4. If they can team up and work together, they've got 7 laps at the end of this one. So they may get a shot of closing back to the top 4. Big dive on the inside now from Sun Yang. That's the move on the inside of Banu Steenmankong now. So the Chinese driver really has been given an opportunity, and he's going for it. So 5th is Teo, 6th is Ji, 7th is Sun, 8th is Steenmankong, Then Moshe and Shane in front of Nado Suksanti, Devanet, Komarakul, Mori, Janunukul, Sir, Chen, and Shah. Over the inside, Jetty G making the bid on Travis Teo. Well, that doesn't happen every day. And Jetty G really having a great race of it. Of course, his tyres will be in better condition as well because he had a DNF yesterday. So his tyres will be fresher than a lot of the drivers around him. And so the very talented man from Hong Kong, Jerry Chi, is looking to make full use of it. So Andrea Galimberti working his way forward to fourth. Travis Teo in the top six with Jerry Chi. There's so much battling still to come as Teo gets his move to try and come back on Sun Yang. And that'll do for Travis Teo. He's not going to lose out to the Chinese talent. Sun Yang's going to have more pressure from Barry Steenman-Kong before this lap is out. 6 to go. And Steenman-Kong really fancies another attack on Sun Yang. The two Kart Republic drivers, not in the same team, of course. Sun Yang racing under the PR1 banner. And Barry Steenman-Kong racing his Kart Republic for Watt Motorsports. But Travis Teo is really struggling for traction here. He's not having it very easy. I wonder if he got tagged in the incident. He got away with it, but I wonder if the kart is slightly damaged in some way, and therefore the balance is upset to a degree. And so he's not quite able to give it 10 tenths. As a result, he's got Sun Yang and Baru Steenman-Kong swarming all over him. So he's having a real job of this. Travis Teo gets a nudge from Sun Yang behind, who is buzzing around him at the moment like bees to the hive. Nudge, 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 get out of the way! And he does. Sun Yang is wondering what on earth is Travis Teo doing? Not going fast enough is the simple answer, but he tries to come back in on the inside of Sun Yang, fights with him, up on the curb, Sun Yang, and Teo's back in front. Sun Yang is not happy. But they're racing. Even if Travis Teo doesn't quite have the pace he should, he's got to do the defensive work if he wants to beat these guys. So he is, in fact, racing. That's what it's called. Sun Yang and Baru Steenman-Kong losing their patience and getting frustrated, sat behind the Malaysian. But Travis Teo doing everything in the book. He's allowed to do this. He's allowed to cover his bases. P6 in front of Sun Yang. There's better top-end speed from the Kart Republic. There's probably a little bit better grip from the tyres as well. But Teo knows all the tricks. He's not a champion by accident. You have to fight to win in Senior X30. And if you can conquer this category, you are one of the best racers in the world. Travis Teo holds on to the inside line. Even though his kart is clearly down on power, he's using all of his superior tactics and skill to keep these guys at bay. Hugs the inside line. Sun Yang nudges slightly in front of him on the approach to the braking zone. But Teo has the inside line well covered. Steenman-Kong on the inside. He takes Sun Yang. So Baru Steenman-Kong gets in front. And now he'll be getting impatient, sat behind Travis Teo. And the more time they lose, the more time gained by Jonathan Moshe and Melvin Shane. Here comes the chance again from Sun Yang, diving up the inside, and he takes back Baru Steenman-Kong. Great racing between these three. The leaders are making it a fairly sleepy affair. So these guys have decided, right, well, we'll give the fans a show then. Meanwhile, there's your leader. 3 laps to go for Kai Burke. Almost boring to watch. But you know what? Invincible to watch. The Australian has been absolutely superb. 2 weeks ago, he was the Bundaberg bouncer, pirouetting in the air, 360 degrees, in the middle of a race, and then kept going. Now, he has no contact at all to worry about. He's 3 seconds clear of his teammate, Austin Gale. Attention, paddock, attention, paddock. Driver number 56. Driver number 56. Please see the stewards. Driver number 56. Please report to the stewards. Thank you. So as Kai Burke comes through at the end of the lap, 2 laps to go here at Bira before he can start the final from pole position this afternoon. There is Austin Gale, a great return to karting. The junior cycling prodigy, doing a great job in the junior classes in Thai cycling. Fantastic competitor in karting. Decided to focus purely on his cycling endeavours. But 2 weeks ago, he was stood on the grid next to his younger brother, Toby Gale, who was on the front row. And he made a decision. I miss this. So after talking with his dad, Winston, they said to each other, well, why don't we go and do it again? Just once. Let's see what happens. And what happens is Austin Gale is back to his best. Kai Burke is your leader, Gale in second, and Yuka Po in third. But he's not in perfect cahoots at the moment because Yuka Po is in serious danger of losing third place here. We need to look back as we go into the final lap because Andrea Galimberti is not going to rest easy here. There's Kai Burke, there's Austin Gale, but in the background, Yuka Po might be about to lose third place to Galimberti. We need to keep an eye on these two as they go through. So Kai Burke leads the way, Gale in second, but it's you versus Galimberti for third place. Those two are going to have a bit of a duel. And here are the battle. There we go. Galimberti riding behind Yuka Po. This is the reigning champion in senior versus the reigning champion in junior. And now they're rivals on the same bit of racetrack. The 22-year-old from Hong Kong versus the 13-year-old from Italy. Fantastic driving between these two, but Galimberti hasn't quite got the time, I look at it. I thought he might have had an opportunity there, but it's not going to happen in the end. And so the checkered flag will fly for Kai Burke. Dominant race, absolute dance to the victory. Second place for Austin Gale. And Yuka Po hangs on for third in front of Andrea Galimberti. Jerry Chi in fifth position in front of Sun Yang of China. Then it is Baruch Stiemenkong in front of Travis Teo. Johanathan Mosh is ninth and gesticulating over the line. And then Melvin Shane in 10th in front of Wadawan Komunakul on the GFC. There's Leonardo Mori, and it's going to be side by side to the line between Nana Suxanti and Jenny Bibonet. Nana Suxanti just got there first by 0.05 of a second. But Kinjin Anakul will be 15th in front of Danish Chen, Didi Tse, and that's all she wrote. Kian Shah out, Ayan Marwa out, Anatan Tenyanachai out. What a dramatic race the first Senior X30 Superheat has given us. Kai Burke, victor yet again. It seems that the Australian can do no wrong here in round 3, and it will certainly give his championship attack no end of positives.